don't think William Tecumseh Sherman did as much damage to the state of Georgia as that woman who called ICE on Hyundai and their employees, had them all detained, and now South Korea is throwing a massive fit. They sent their own citizens down to train Americans so that they could be fully functional in this factory. Trump and MAGA complain all the time. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? They're overseas. Bring them back to America. And then when we finally do, some dumbass, bitch-ass idiot calls ICE and has these people detained. Now South Korea has sent a plane, picked up all their asses, and who knows if they're ever coming back. This is going to take 8,000 plus jobs away from the state of Georgia, and possibly many more, and all this manufacturing that they would have had, all the money this would have generated for the state of Georgia and our country is now potentially gone, and that may just be that little portion. There could be more significant backlash coming from South Korea, Hyundai, any other South Korean company who was thinking of bringing jobs over to America is going to think twice now, because some idiot decided to call ICE. They decided to call ICE on these people and have 400 plus human beings who have done nothing illegal detained. Good job. And this woman is running, I believe, for Congress. Yeah, have fun with that. Republican, Democrat, whatever. I can't imagine anybody in the state of Georgia is on board with what that foolish person did. So, yeah, Sherman may have burned his way to Atlanta, but you set Georgia ablaze as well.
So I be wondering, do these damn Karens just wake up and be like, who life can I fuck up today? Because did y'all hear about that lady that called ICE on the Hyundai plant workers? It was 450 workers. She done called ICE on them. They done all came and ICE done detained them all. But I guess they had to be illegal immigrants for them to detain them all. But damn, why do people go out of their damn way to make somebody suffer? That's 450 families that they got out here that they not gonna come home to. That they gonna have to get a call and get the news that they father or uncle or brother or cousin ain't coming home. Because you just decided to wake the hell up and call ICE on the whole plant. And now they talking about South Korea mad. Why the hell people can't mind they damn business? That be taking it to, like, that's take 450 people. Her name is Tori Branham. Y'all can go look it up. Y'all, that is sad.
Charlie Kirk had this to say while he was visiting South Korea last week.
Okay, everybody, I'm here in Seoul, South Korea. As you can see, everyone, they have these like inflatable cushy chairs. Everyone is reading. This would last about 35 seconds in most American cities.
Charlie Kirk saying we should be more like South Korea. I find it absolutely hilarious how just a couple of days later, this lady, Tori Branham, I don't know, I can't say her last name any better than she can say Hyundai, proceeds to call ICE and has close to 500 people working on the construction of a brand new Hyundai plant in Georgia, one of only 2 in the country, causing them to be detained. And we know that at least 300 are South Koreans that are currently on their way back to South Korea. So this lady single-handedly, at best, has delayed the opening of this plant. At worst, if it was me and I was the South Korean president, I would say, you know what? I'm not going to open that plant there. And oh, by the way, I'm going to close the only other plant that's in America. Because understand this, the majority of Hyundai's profits don't come from Americans. And then the president saying, maybe we'll just get some people to teach us how to make those batteries. Fuck no, don't teach them. That's proprietary information. Absolutely not. One woman with one phone call has potentially cost Georgians 8,000 jobs, not to mention all of the other potential economic stimulus that comes from these jobs. Good job, lady. Good job. It has to be exhausting being racist.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
I'm not surprised. However, I'm a bit annoyed that this is a reality that continues to emerge. Perception, perspective is a hell of a fucking drug. Hi, my name is Denzel. Today is 85 of me speaking to the camera for 60 seconds. And I don't have all the answers, but to have this perspective, to think this way, to move this way, to have the confidence to speak this way and be an absolute dumbass. She couldn't even say Hyundai properly. My God.
That lady who called ICE on those South Koreans at the Hyundai plant in Georgia, South Korea responded. Yeah, y'all remember this lady who claimed to call ICE because the union workers couldn't get jobs. They weren't allowing Americans to get jobs. But really, it was just South Koreans bringing over people to build this Hyundai plant in order to set it up and get Americans to come and learn how to set up these Hyundai parts. Yeah, she's made a fool of herself. Over $300 billion was invested to bring South Koreans over, build up this Hyundai plant so that they can open up jobs to Americans to come in and learn from these South Koreans in order to build jobs, manufacturing, and all that for Americans. And she called ICE and got them detained and shackled. South Korea had to come and tell our government to unshackle their workers, who, mind you, again, they were on visas. They had work visas to be over here. South Korea told America, unshackle them. We're sending a charter plane. I know they like to say, oh, we sent a charter plane to bring them back to South Korea. No, South Korea sent that charter plane, not America. This is why I say racism is it's just so, you can't do nothing but laugh at racism. Because this lady, I think her name is like Tori Bonyuni or something like that, Burnuni. This lady has nothing tied to this Georgia plant. Nothing tied to the car industry. Nothing tied to any manufacturing industry ever. So my question is, and it's always the case, I swear to you, this is always the case when stuff like this happens. It's always by somebody that has no ties to any type of job. Their job isn't even related to the manufacturing. So why do you care? Why did she feel so obligated enough to go out of her way and do this? She has since then deleted her account. She tried to make multiple videos accounting or trying to back up like she didn't do it. She said a video, well, it wasn't actually me who called ICE. You came on this internet and made this video for what? I don't know. Did you expect people to rally behind you? Because it was the dumbest decision and it cost America billions of dollars. And again, she had zero ties to this. I doubt she knew anyone who even wanted to be in that manufacturing position. In fact, even if she claims she did, and if anyone claims that we were waiting on jobs, you couldn't even work the job because you don't have the knowledge or information on how to build this plant. So South Korea responded. They said that they're not doing it. South Korea said that they're done. If y'all don't know, the people in South Korea, they're protesting this. They're telling South Korea to not bring these people back. Billions of dollars is going down the drain for America. Over 8,000 jobs are gone now, all because of the decisions of one person. And she came on the internet and thought that she did the right thing. She did not think that this was the case. She thought that she was detaining other immigrants, the bad ones. It's crazy, man. The stuff that we have to deal with, the stuff that we have to go through for the next 3 years, it's still the first year. We haven't even gone through a whole year. Y'all stay positive though, man. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.
Brothers and sisters, let's talk about a story that shows how communities respond when someone acts against them. Recently, there was a woman who reportedly called ICE on workers at Hyundai plant. That action brought a lot of attention, and it ended up with her being banished or cast out by her own community. This situation raises big questions about loyalty, power, and how communities deal with people who side with oppression instead of solidarity. Now, let's break it down. For those who don't know, ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is the US government agency responsible for deportations, raids, and detentions. Over the years, ICE has been criticized heavily for targeting immigrant communities, separating families, and creating fear in workplaces. The Hyundai plant became a target because many immigrant workers are employed there. These workers often from immigrant backgrounds, are part of labor force that keeps the factory running. But instead of standing in solidarity, these women reportedly turned against them by calling ICE, essentially opening the door for raids, detention, and possibly deportations. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The community around her didn't take this lightly. She was reportedly banished, basically excluded and rejected by people around her. Why? Because even if people have differences, there is an understanding that calling ICE is not just snitching, it's aligning with a system designed to break apart families and weakening communities. When someone does that, they aren't just reporting a workplace issue, they're weaponizing the state against vulnerable people and communities. Know that if they know this kind of behavior to go unchecked, it puts everyone at risk. Today it might be migrant workers at Hyundai, tomorrow it might be another group. This is where the lesson comes in. Communities, especially migrant and working class communities, have always survived by practicing solidarity, whether it was African Americans during Jim Crow, Caribbean immigrants fighting against discrimination, or African workers in labor struggles. Surviving has depended on unity. When someone breaks that unity by siding with oppression, whether for personal gain, jealousy, or fear, they are often cast out. History shows us that betraying your own people or your community rarely ends well. Think about the civil rights movement, where informants who betrayed activists often faced isolation after the truth came out. This story teaches us something powerful. Communities enforce their own standards of justice. When official systems fail them, the government often protects corporations and punishes workers. But when someone undermines the community, the people step in to protect themselves. It also raises the question of how much power everyday people have. We may not always control laws or government agencies, but we can control who we uplift, who we support, and who we allow to be among us. By banishing her, the community sent a clear message. Betrayal has consequences. Brothers and sisters, the lesson here is deeper than just one woman and one call to ICE. It's about the importance of unity, trust, and solidarity in the face of systems that want to divide and conquer us. When we stick together, we are strong. When we turn on each other, we weaken ourselves. So as we reflect this story, let's ask ourselves, where do we stand when our community is under attack? Do we protect each other, or do we hand each other over to systems that don't care about us? The answer to that question defines whether we move forward together or fall apart divided. Thanks for watching, and if it's your first time here, kindly subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.